Magandang umaga. Welcome po sa another episode ng Kwentong Tagumpay. This is Secretary Chris Roque. And today we have Jacqe Gutierrez, of course from Happy Skin and BLK. Hi Jacqe,
Hello,
nice to have you here. And thank you for allowing us to interview you so that we get to know the story of your business and how you started, and so that you can also teach our viewers what it is to start from corporate and go all the way to your own business, and how to grow and thrive, especially in times like this where there's so much competition and there's a lot of challenges also. So thank you for coming, and I look forward to our kwento today, and I'm excited to know really your story. Can you walk us through your professional journey? Kasi I know you came from Unilever, and how come you decided to go and venture into your own?
So, I worked for Unilever for 10 years.
Tagal din,
From graduation, I went to their management trainee program, and then I did marketing. That's my stint talaga.
Okay.
I did marketing for Philippines first, and then eventually Southeast Asia and Australasia. My whole career there really spanned on beauty and personal care. So, I handled hair brands, skin brands, face care brands. So, I was really very much into the world of beauty. There was a sense of fulfillment even then, because when we do consumer visits, when we talk to consumers, you really feel like the products that you do have a genuine effect. It gives them genuine joy. Like, you know, it's something very simple, but as a young girl back then, I felt like, wow, what I do actually has an impact on people. And I felt like it's also something I love. I love beauty. I love creating brands. I'm passionate about it.
Oh, that's nice.
So that was my first 10 years journey. And then I realized I wanted to continue creating, but I wanted to create a local brand. Because I felt like maybe I can bring pride to Filipinas. Maybe I can create something that you can be proud of. And that's when I started Happy Skin.
So Happy Skin was the first one?
Yes,
Oh,
opo.
okay.
So,
before BLK. Okay,
opo,
sige.
opo. So Happy Skin is 12 years old this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes, interesting. And then after that, when you're in Happy Skin, when did you decide na, okay, I'll venture into BLK? And then, why did you have to
create
another brand rather than just push the existing
Focusing,
brand?
yes.
Yeah.
So when I started Happy Skin, really, I didn't have such a deep understanding on the cosmetics landscape. When I started Happy Skin, the idea really was to create a brand that Filipinas would be proud of.
Okay.
Like back then, kasi there wasn't a lot of good local brands. I wanted to create a brand that's good packaging, good formula, and you know, level of global beauty brands. Like if you look at it, you'll be proud to take it out. Like I always say, di ba we always give dried mangoes as pasalubong when we go abroad.
Correct.
I want you to bring a Happy Skin product when you grow abroad. I wanted to be like, oh, this brand is Filipino, but have you tried it? It's so good. So that was the intent of Happy Skin. I wanted to create a skin-caring brand, a brand that's a little bit more premium, and you know, something that offers a very unique positioning, which is skin caring. Back then, 12 years ago, hindi pa po uso yung skin caring makeup as it is now.
Skin caring. When you say skin caring, anong ibig sabihin nito?
So we really put active ingredients of hyaluronic acid, niacinamide.
Para may skin care factor in every time they use the product.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of women are scared to use makeup kasi feeling nila titigyawatin sila, or yung mga parang feeling nila hindi hiyang, papangit yung balat. And that's the reason why Happy Skin became successful. Kasi everyone who has sensitive skin, nag-work sa kanila yung Happy Skin. So, if you're really very conscious about it, then our product's not gonna damage your skin.
Okay.
So, that was the whole proposition of Happy Skin. And I think it speaks to a certain audience. But then, when I took a look at the whole industry, I realized that there was a gap in the market.
When you say gap, anong ibig sabihin sa gap?
There was an unfulfilled need na hindi nasa-serve ng current brands. And what do I mean by that? There needs to be a local brand that's more simple, uncomplicated, and more versatile. So that's the reason why we started BLK. We really wanted the brand that could connect to more people, something that's one and done. So all the products of BLK, when we develop it, it's always multi-purpose. It's always multi-use. So for example, our all-over paints, that's our bestseller, it's for your eyes, your lips, and your cheeks. And yes.
Okay.
So, isa lang kailangan yung dalhin
Yeah.
and you're done.
Okay.
Right? And Filipinos love that. They love anything that's efficient. You know, they don't want something that takes 10 steps to finish.
Okay.
So, I felt that there was a need for an uncomplicated product. And that's the reason why we decided to launch BLK. And the goal of BLK really is to become the #1 brand in the Philippines. And you may ask, why do we have that goal?
Yeah. Why do you have that goal?
The
Yes.
#1 brand in the Philippines, ma'am, is Maybelline.
Okay.
And why is it an international brand being the #1 brand and not a local brand?
Correct.
So that's really my, like, ever since I started BLK, that was my pain point. I felt like, why? Why
Kailangan,
can't, yes.
kailangan local brand.
Kailangan
At saka
local brand.
hindi tayo pwede talagang, parang if they can do it, how come we
Of
can't
course.
do it,
And
diba?
we even understand the market better, right? We know
Yes,
the
yeah.
weather, we know the
Correct,
consumer, we know the
yeah.
skin type.
Yes, and we know how to distribute, and we know who the market really
Exactly.
is. Yeah.
And that really is where we were coming from. So I wanted a brand that could compete with Maybelline. And that's
Okay.
why BLK's price point is also at Maybelline's price point.
Oh,
Happy
so
Skin kasi is a little bit more expensive.
Okay, so BLK, you really put it dun sa same market
Yes.
para at least
Yes,
okay.
because that's the intention.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel na ganito now? You have both Happy Skin and you have both BLK. How do you feel is the landscape now for this kind of business, considering that there's very strong Korean brand, there's also very strong Japanese brand?
Correct. In the Philippines, you may be shocked to know only 1 in 4 women actually use makeup. It's
Really?
crazy, yes. When we started 12 years ago, 1 in 4. Now, 1 in 6. So at least the penetration is a little bit better. But Filipinas kasi are really very, I guess, Maria Clara. They're not as exposed to makeup
Talaga.
12 years ago. But I think in the past 3 years, grabe yung growth of penetration. And I really feel like you need more brands so
Okay.
that you will be enticed to use. So what do I mean by that? Not everyone will try makeup through a lipstick. You may try makeup through concealer because meron kang pimple that day. And then, so okay, tatry na ako mag-makeup. Or you may try to use it via mascara. So, iba-iba yung entry point of women. You don't enter through one product. And that's why you need more brands, right?
Yes,
So that
correct.
they
Yeah.
offer different things. And also the personality of the brands. You have to be able to connect to the brand that you're using. So, sometimes, hindi enough na Happy Skin lang, hindi enough na BLK lang. Sometimes, you need all other competitors and even Korean brands, even Japanese brands, you need them so that they get into the makeup industry. If you're now using makeup, I assure you, no girl will have one brand in their bag.
Yes, correct.
Right?
I
so,
agree. I
for
agree
sure po
with you.
yung,
Yes,
yeah,
oo,
you will
yes,
have
yeah.
5, 6, 7.
Yes, I
so,
agree.
for me, it doesn't matter who opened you into the cosmetics world, a US brand, Korean brand, Japanese brand, or a local brand. But what's important is that we own more space in your makeup kit than those other brands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pero for the beauty business, no, have you ever thought of diversifying? Meaning, nasa beauty ka ngayon, pero feeling mo, baka I can do something that's different. Maybe, or expand the line of makeup into something that's either related or totally not related, but retain the brand.
So, si Happy Skin, we expanded into skincare and also just this year into hair care. So, that's a little bit close, but we wanted to do the whole personal care. How we imagine Happy Skin kasi is to really build it as like a household name, like parang mega brand. So
okay.
yes, there are a lot of plans, not just in beauty, not just in personal care, in other, categories, because I feel like if you have a very good brand and people trust your brand, then
Yes.
it'll be easy for them also to accept your brand in a different category.
Yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. And it's also good for us to really explore other avenues for expansion. Why? Because of the jobs that it will provide.
Correct,
Our
correct.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is very, very strong on job creation. So, whatever, let's say, plans you have to expand your business, please feel free to contact the DTI. We may be able to help you in your expansion because the main mandate of our president is really
More
to
jobs.
yeah.
Yes,
Jobs.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
if there's any support that you may need from us, please feel free and we will support you as best as we can. And then, how do you handle competition? How do you handle negative feedback? How do you handle wanting to really expand globally?
Okay. Competition. So I don't look at competition as competition. I mean, and that's not just me saying it because it sounds nice. I really truly believe in that. I believe, like what I said, you need more brands so that you can increase penetration. And then if you have increased penetration, you just increase the repeat purchase of the people,
Yes,
right? So
yeah.
I think competition is really good for the industry because we all can sustainably grow together.
Yes.
I'm actually friends with a lot of local beauty brands, international beauty brands, and we meet regularly because we also try to strategize how else do we make this bigger so that we can give more jobs, open more stores.
Yes.
So that's the competition. Negative feedback. In this day and age, ang hirap kasi with social media, you really get a lot of, positive, but you also get a lot of not so good feedback. We take all feedbacks very seriously. So meaning, we hear it out, we see if it's a valid concern. Is it valid? Tama ba? Do we need to do something about it? And we address it. But
Okay.
sometimes there are also a lot of other noise which may
Yeah.
not be true. So at the end of the day, we let our real consumers defend us.
Okay.
And then we just stay quiet.
Okay.
We just stay quiet and we let our work stand for itself. We know how good our products are. We test it extensively before we
Yes,
launch
yeah,
anything.
Before you launch anything.
Yes, so we
That's
know
good,
it
yeah.
should stand. So that's the feedback. Expanding globally. I think that's the hope and dream of every entrepreneur, right? Like,
Yeah.
because it also brings your business to a whole different level. That's always been part of the plan. We do export and distribute outside the Philippines, but we haven't really maximize that, to be honest, but it's always in the plan. We're in talks with a lot of distributors, but when we do something, we want to do it right. We want to do it well. If we do expand, we want to be able to understand that market well. What products do they need? Like that their local brands or their international brands cannot serve. So that there's really a role for Happy Skin or BLK to enter, because we don't want to enter another country just because we have a brand. We want to enter it because we fulfill a need that isn't being met in that country.
Did you know that the DTI has 29 DTI offices worldwide with 21 foreign trade attachés, meaning we can do a B2B for you. We can also match you with the different establishments abroad in different countries which you want to enter or a country that you want to explore.
Yeah.
Nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Yeah,
So we can
yeah.
do some business matching for your company.
Oh, so that's
yes.
open to the public?
That's open
Anyone
to the
can do that?
public, yeah.
Okay.
Because ang problem kasi is the people think DTI is just a business name registration department. But actually, we have three main mandates, which is number one, international trade and foreign investment, which we are really pushing because of the jobs that it provides and, of course, the income, which is really needed by our country. Then the consumer protection and fair trade, where we protect the consumers from the products that's being sold in the market. And number three, the MSME development, which is a sector that we definitely cannot ignore. But we can help you distribute your brand worldwide in countries that you feel that
There's
you
potential.
see the potential. Yes.
And how
oo.
do you go about that?
I'll give you my card, you message me, and then you tell me, oh, I want to explore Japan. Then this is the company that I want to sell to. Then we can set the meeting.
Wow.
Yeah, when the
Okay,
government
that's very
sets the
helpful.
meeting, yes,
They will say yes.
Yes, they will say yes, yeah.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
then it also gives credibility to the
Correct,
brand. And the
correct.
fact that the government is endorsing it, then that means that kahit papano.
That's very helpful.
Yes, yeah, we can do that for your company and for all companies that may want to explore the global market, no? But for the local, if you're aware, we are 115 million Filipinos, which is a very big market.
yeah.
And our average age is 25 years old.
Very
so
young nga eh.
Very
Yeah,
young.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the market is so huge. In fact, that's what attracts a lot of foreign investors
Yeah,
to our
yeah,
countries,
yeah,
the
yeah.
huge population of the
Correct,
Philippines.
correct.
So how do you see this local beauty business, or at least the makeup or skincare business, in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think it'll continue to thrive.
I think so.
Yeah,
Because
right?
with social media,
Exactly.
everybody needs to look good with social media. And the Filipinos are very
Yes.
vain.
Yes,
And everybody
yes.
wants to look good. So I think it's really here to
I
stay.
agree.
Go ahead.
I
Wally.
agree. Yeah, so I think you're right there, ma'am. With social media coming in, you're also exposed to all the beauty brands globally. And of course, it's a job of social media, right, to make you want those things.
Yes,
And
yeah.
sometimes not everything is accessible to you.
Yes.
So local brands really have that role to play, to be able to give you the products that you desire, the products that you like, and social media is very helpful to that. So even as entrepreneurs, I think all the local brands are gonna benefit from this, because we really have a lot of room for growth. And you're right, a lot of Filipinas want to look good. I mean, we're generally a very beautiful race, if I
Yes.
may say. So everyone feels a little bit more confident with more beauty products.
Okay, what advice can you give to those that really want to get into business? Not necessarily the beauty business kasi medyo the capital is a little bit malaki.
Hindi naman
Hindi
po.
na?
Yung-
Because of the MOQ or minimum order quantity
but ang
and
laki
the
na po ng-
variety
Yes,
of
that's true.
products that you need to have to be able to compete.
Yeah.
But example for budding entrepreneurs or young people that want to get started at least in any business, what advice can you give them?
So for me, for beauty, to be honest, when we started Happy Skin, we started with like less than 20 products. And the MOQ, you're right, it was a problem then. But now, because there's a big online business, that number is not very big anymore, because you can easily sell that in online. So for me, if there's anyone who's interested to do beauty or in the cosmetics or skincare, if you have a product that you feel like is very unique, very differentiated, and is not offered anywhere in the Philippines yet, go ahead. Take that risk. I mean, the fact that there's online makes it easier to enter the space. If you're a budding entrepreneur and you really just want to test the waters, it may not be makeup, it may be something else. For me, at the end of the day, it's about your product. Your product is always the hero. If your product is consistently good, it answers a latent need that nobody else can answer, then that's a good business idea. Take a risk. You don't have to open stores immediately. You don't have to purchase a lot of things. You just try it online.
Yes,
Open
yeah.
a TikTok shop, a Shopee shop, a Lazada shop. I mean, that's the beauty of the world we live in today. It allows, smaller players to enter and try their luck. And at the end of the day, if you have a good product, it will resonate with people.
Yes, actually, I believe, the e-commerce platform, especially here in the Philippines, is really an ace. I also encourage a lot of these young budding entrepreneurs to try the e-commerce platform.
Yeah.
Kasi first, the President's mandate is to really go digital. So the e-commerce platform is one of the strongest way to be able to sell our products.
Correct.
Why? We are 7,600
Yeah.
islands. So the only way for us to sell and to get the message across, to be able to disseminate information, is to really go digital. And
Correct.
the e-commerce platform, did you know, for a Chinese brand now, Philippines is number 1, number 2, number 3 in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And then for also Japanese brand, outside of Japan, number 1 is the Philippines. So we're very strong in the e-commerce platform. So I encourage all the business or budding entrepreneurs to try, as you said, the e-commerce platform or to go online. What can you tell the Filipinos out there about your brand, or about what advice can you give them, even about, of course, entrepreneurship, or about like working in corporate and moving to your own business? Siyempre, that's risky. Kasi pag corporate, sanay ka na, you get
Correct.
paid 15, 30,
Yes.
and you don't
Opo.
have to worry too much about everything. But being an
Yes.
entrepreneur is actually tough. I always tell them, being an
Yes.
MSME, especially when you start from scratch.
You're very right. I grew up in a family where being a corporate is the one that was espoused. Like everyone, like my goal when I was growing up in college, in high school, is to be the vice president of Unilever. And because it was easy. But then I realized when I was doing my Unilever job that at some point I wanted to create something of my own because I can control it more. Like sometimes, because it's a global brand, it's a global company, it doesn't really connect with Filipino consumers so much. And I feel like there was an opportunity to do that. But I really value the 10 years that I worked in corporate because it helped me gain the experience, the proper processes, proper structure. The way I run Happy Skin and BLK now, I follow all the processes that I learned in corporate world. So I mean, for budding entrepreneurs, I encourage you to go to work first. I mean, find a job first because that's the best way to learn. Imagine they give you a salary and you're even learning, right? I mean,
Exactly. Yeah. What better
way
deal can
to
you
learn?
get?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like when people tell me, is it good to go to masters? Why? Just find a job. Right?
Yes,
Find a
yeah.
job and do
That
do
will
your
teach you
job.
hands-on
Exactly,
talaga. Yeah,
exactly.
experience rather than those that you learn from the books.
Exactly. So I feel like my 10 years in my corporate job really helped me to become the entrepreneur that I am
That
today.
you are today.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
For your company, how many people do you employ, if I may ask?
Maybe in total, we have for both companies around 300. Yeah,
That's
yes,
good. Yeah,
yes,
at least
yes.
you give a lot of livelihood and jobs to 300
Yes.
people, which
And
is,
then we have more
and
through
families,
agencies pa.
yes, of
Yes,
course,
yes.
and families, no. So,
Opo.
in closing, what can you say, or what quotation can you share with us, or is there any plans that you want in the near future, or?
I'm really just very thankful for the way that I guess the government is also supporting the businesses in the Philippines. I mean, I feel it. I feel the advances in e-commerce. I feel that is really very helpful for us entrepreneurs because it really gives us more diversity in terms of our distribution. Before 10, 12 years ago when we started, the only way to sell is to sell it in your boutique or you sell it through the big department stores, which is very, very hard to do because that's very capital intensive.
Correct.
I think the support now in digitization and e-commerce is so helpful for young entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And so I'm very thankful for that. And I feel like more and more I see the progress, the growth of e-commerce is very, very good. And as you said, Philippines is like the second country, third country for all other countries. And that
Yes,
also means
very
we're doing
strong.
something right in the
Yes,
ecosystem, right?
yes,
And that
definitely.
benefits first and foremost local brands as well.
Yes, correct.
Because the growth that you guys do and work on there benefits us and
Yes.
it benefits future generations too and
Yes.
young entrepreneurs.
Yes, and now the DTI, we put up this trust mark now that your brand can actually contact the DTI how to get the trust mark, so that we will use this now to tell the consumers that these are the trusted brands. Yeah, because now
Yeah.
there's so many brands that are being
Yes.
sold online. They fake
Opo.
the local brands, or they fake other brands, or they have below standard brands. So now with the trust
madami
mark,
kaming fake Happy Skin and BLK.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pag successful yung brand, of
Yeah.
course, madami talagang fake.
Okay,
So,
opo.
we have the trust mark, which
Okay.
we just launched actually about 2 weeks ago.
That's
So,
very
Yeah,
helpful,
once
yeah.
they see that now you have the trust mark, that means that you are a reputable brand, and then we will continue to push to support your brand and to support the local industry. You can always count on us here, and we understand the need for support of the local brands for their businesses. And if there's anything that the DTI can do for you, please feel free to contact me or to contact anyone from DTI. We're always here for you.
Maraming
So
salamat
thank you,
po.
Jacqe.
Yes.
Thank you for giving us a chance to
Yes.
interview you, and
Thank
you
you.
for sharing your story. It's so hard to share secrets. I know it's very hard to share trade secrets.
I always
also,
share
but
so
thank
much.
you
That's
so
what my
much.
team says. Like, ma'am, you're sharing so much. I go, it's okay. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, if everyone grows, then it'll benefit everyone too.
Yeah, that's nice.
yeah.
Thank you, and I really wish you the best. And there's really so much ahead of you. You're still very young, and
Thank you po.
the business that you're into is a very lucrative and flourishing business. So I'm sure you'll grow leaps and bounds. So
Maraming
I hope to
salamat.
see you again anytime you
Yeah.
need us. For whatever, even if you have openings or you need support for global distribution.
I will
local
take you up on that
Yes,
po,
yeah.
ma'am.
I'll give you my card and you
Opo.
can message me through WhatsApp and Viber. So
Thank you.
Jacqe.
Maraming salamat po.
Thank you.
Thank you.
so much, Jacqe. Thank you.